So out of all the Star Treks, then, you really only consider the original series, the animated series, and like TNG, The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you think are... That's sort of what you consider the real Trek.
Yeah.
Now, what are your thoughts then about everything else then? Like, what is it? If it's not real Trek, but it's still obviously in the same universe and a lot of the same characters and or timelines, what is it? Because there's still the adventure stuff. There's still, the Starfleet Code and the Federation and all that jazz and all those different worlds or iterations, shows.
Yeah, there is. But, I mean, well, DS9 is... how best to sum up DS9? It's like wannabe Game of Thrones in space. Because it has a buttload of political intrigue with the Bajorans and the Cardassians. And, I mean, governments get thrown over. You have the invasion of the Klingons into Cardassia. So, I don't know, yeah, like DS9 is more like Game of Thrones-y wannabe before Game of Thrones existed.
So it's more political intrigue. It's more
political
maneuvering
balance
and
of power
gaining
shit.
Power and influence. Very good.
Voyager, as I said, is closer to Star Trek than DS9, but since they're running for they're trying to get home more than anything else, a lot of their, let's just call it side quests, seem not the smartest idea.
There's coffee in that nebula.
Yeah.
And well, another thing that has in common with at least TNG, you've got the character of the non-human crew member. In this case, you have the Doctor trying to learn how to be sentient, essentially, through circumstances being forced upon him.
Yeah.
And then you have Data, who's doing the same thing, but by choice. He's learning how to be, or wants to become more human, wants emotions and all that stuff. So you've got the exploration of what it means to be, what is the soul or nature of humanity, and what makes you sentient or worthy of, being deemed like alive, sort of thing.
That's measure of a man.
Yeah, those are interesting things. And then of course Voyager plays that with 7 of 9 a little bit, not in that way, but a human become bored, become human, and her return to humanity allows you to explore humanity. So those are interesting characters that all three of those share in common. And Spock kind of fulfills that role a little bit too, because he is the half human, half Vulcan, man of two worlds, sort of not at home in either, really only at home in the Federation. And his struggles with emotion and his identity allow us to explore humanity as well. So they all have that in common. They have a character that is a sort of outcast, non-human, through which we critique and explore what we think it means to be human.
So what role does Odo then fill? Because he definitely doesn't do that.
Odo he claims that he wants to be more human. No, he doesn't really. He doesn't want to be human. No, he's kind of like, humans are weird and I don't get it, and I'm forced to wear their shape and I'm never comfortable in it. Yeah. So we don't explore humanity through him so much as, that's interesting. Yeah. He's just a character in DS9. He's an interesting character. He's a bridge between, an eventual bridge between the main boogeymen founders and the Alpha Quadrant.
Well, ironically, he's the bridge, but he's also the delivery weapon, because Starfleet literally implants him with a fucking bioweapon to kill off all the founders.
Okay, so another thing, we get Section 13, the sketchy behind the scenes underworld secret service of the Federation.
Yeah, Section 13 is an interesting thing. And I think, Section 13 in my mind actually is, a real necessary part of Starfleet. Because Starfleet, in it, its ideals don't allow it to survive, in my mind. You need a shady...
how would it survive without...
You need a shady organization that's willing to do the dirty work.
The Federation may be idyllic, but they live in a non-idyllic utopian universe.
Yeah.
The galaxy is big, and the Federation is just one part of it. The Cardassians don't give a fuck about your morality.
No.
The Andorrans have very different morals. The Tellarites are very different. And those are just the three big first founding members of the Federation outside of the Vulcans and the humans. And even among humanity, I don't believe that 300 years or 150 years is enough time to actually erase moral differences between cultures in our world.
No, absolutely not.
You will never convince me that 150 years and another world war is enough to make Muslims and Christians love each other.
Nope.
Unconditionally and not want to kill each other ever.
Nope.
That kind of evolution has got to take more than what, at best 5 generations in 150 years, maybe 6 or 7, I guess, possibly, but not long enough to actually create like that kind of change, right?
No, it's too seismic to, especially when we were talking about religions coming okay with each other. At best you'll get a chill out period after the radical period, kind of the way Christianity is now, rather like in comparison to, Islam. But
yeah,
that's at best you will get a chill out. But for the most part, like those type of animosities, and especially if you're like tracing history back, because people remember, even if it's like 500 years ago, like, my great grandfather died, well, more than that, like died at the battle of this and stuff like that, fighting for our freedom.
If it's something like that, they'll definitely remember it.
Yeah, and
but so much of that is also forgotten.
And if you're talking about a world war, I have
no idea what our ancestors did 500 years ago. Like, literally zero clue.
No, yeah, that's true.
Or even 100 years ago. Well, no, 100 years ago we know. But 150 years?
150 years, that's where I definitely have no idea. Yeah,
I'm sure the records existed. I mean, the Germans were always pretty meticulous, so...
Very good.
They have ways of finding your family.
Yikes. Shit. Where was I going with this now?
The societal change necessary to create the utopia that is beginning to exist at the outbreak of the Federation.
Yeah, like
when Archer is the founding sort of member.
Yeah.
Instrumental in founding.
Yeah. However, whatever word. He's the linchpin. Let's put it that way, because if you take him out, apparently the Federation never gets formed. Because Daniels literally proves this to him.
Yeah. Here's that.
It's the
thing
whole
about
temporal
Enterprise
fucking Cold War.
I knew. I was actually surprised he didn't bring it up.
I wanted. Like this.
You have very strong feelings about, and I even like opened the door for it about the Nazi one. Like, oh, except for the time travel fuckery, and I was waiting for you to pounce on that because huge parts of the entire show are based on time travel fuckery, wizardry, and whatever a temporal Cold War, whatever that means.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, that
because
really
it doesn't seem very
sense.
cold. It seems like they're actively like trying to sabotage each other through time.
Yeah, it's very guerrilla warfare tactics just through history. So yeah, a Cold War in this respect doesn't seem right. It's very much a hot war, at least maybe like an insurgency. I'm not quite sure how you want to phrase it, but both sides.
And we never really understand who the players are and what their motivations are fully, unless I missed it. I mean, it's been a while. I could be.
It is fucking. They literally want to wipe out Earth and the Federation. And actually, not just the thing. They want to bring the Expanse everywhere.
That's right. They want to bring the Expanse. But then the other aliens that are involved in the Temporal Cold War are also not the Expanse aliens.
No, they're getting played
like the
by
Nazi
the
aliens that are from the future that want to go back.
Yeah. All the people are getting played by the Expanse aliens who actually control it and control the spheres. So.
And then whatever uniform they give Crewman Daniels when he has his, like, they give him, like, the stupid bowl cut and what looks like venom is enveloping him suit. It looks silly. And let's not forget the full Bermanification, if that's a verb, to Berman.
Mm-hmm.
Bermaned all over that show with his Berman-ness all over... like Trip and T'Pau rubbing their Berman jizz into each other after every single away mission.
Awkward.
I think decon gel 6 for this one, Dr. Flock says, and then they sit there and awkwardly rub each other. And only the PG parts, so clearly you don't need decon gel on your bits.
But they put them, but they put like DePaul in like the most skimpiest outfit you can fucking imagine, where it's basically just covering her thing, and then like a shirt that fits way too tightly over her chest. And, Trip is in his, man thong.
Yeah. I mean, they really barbified her for that stuff, too. It's awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's on the same...
It all started in, like, TNG with... Well, maybe it was even earlier, but I really think, TNG with Deanna Troi.
Yeah.
She's the cheerleader, bubbly personality who feels things and is pretty pointless and wears very, very tight outfits. She doesn't even get to have a character until they give her a regular uniform, I swear. She actually has, like, things to do outside of pain after, like, the 3rd season. When Jellicoe comes around and the Borg incident happens and Picard gets assimilated, that's when they actually start giving...
her some
Deanna Troi a real personality, so yay for that. But it took too long.
Yeah, definitely took too long.
And then you've got the Jerry Ryan situation.
Fucking passing out because her outfit is too tight and she has a lack of oxygen.
Like, there's no need for that kind of garbage. Thank God she can act the shit out of that role. And then T'Pol, thank God she was a good actress, and they didn't let that stupid, like, weirdly overt sensuality stuff ruin what that character actually could be. You know, didn't make it. She didn't become a caricature.
Yeah, it was it was just an annoying side thing that always happened in every episode, but didn't detract completely from the actual episode.
Yeah,
it was just always just felt really inappropriate and weird.
Yeah, so that was just annoying.
And then you have Hoshi, the human fucking translator that makes no sense. I can hear five words from an alien language that I have no fucking context for, and I'm just going to decipher it with my little hand computer too. Sure.
A savant can learn many languages, but they have to, build the vocab up and stuff. Like, you don't just osmosis style suck up their knowledge of the language just by speaking to them for a second. Like, how would you know what the words for anything are without learning them, studying them? Like, you can learn the patterns of the language, probably, like the grammar structure, but if you applied the grammar to English, okay, fine, but now what are the words for space, table, peace, hello, goodbye, don't shoot, we come in peace, I'm having a bad hair day, I don't know.